Hi guys, hope you're okay. Super long time no see. When I say super long time, I'm talking like years here. So I'm back at you with a makeup tutorial. This is the look that I've done today. So it's kind of a dark, warm, red toned eye with a lined lip and kind of nude lips and some nice contouring and highlighting. I hope you really enjoy it. I've really enjoyed making it for you. I've missed you guys a lot. I wonder how many of you who are still subscribed to me actually want to be. So hey, if there's any old school subscriber here from years ago, it's good to have you here, and hopefully we get some new subscribers as well. So hope you enjoy this video and you learn a little bit from it, and see you all soon. Bye. Okay, so to start, I'm gonna prime my skin. I'm gonna be using kind of one of those funny products that people rave about, but it actually does work. It's the Nivea Men Sensitive Cooling Post Shave Balm. It smells amazing. It smells like men, and it actually does work, honestly. It just gives you this really good film for your makeup. It's kind of like a cream balm, obviously. You don't need a lot of it. I'll just start with this and then just rub that in all over my face. And just let that set, and now I smell amazing. So now my skin's all primed. I do actually have large pores, so I'm going to just pop a little bit of Bourjois Flower Perfection. I've literally never heard anyone speak about this, but I really like it. I've had it for a really long time and I'm just kind of finishing it up now. But this is basically just a pore minimizer. It just really fills in your pores. So then I'm going to go in with foundation. This is a new foundation that I recently got. I've been wanting for absolutely ages. It's the NYX Total Control Drops. Because I fake tan and I kind of never know what kind of colour I'm going to be, because often I don't top it up. I've got a really light colour and a really dark colour. So I just like to do that with my foundation so that whatever foundation I want to wear, I've always got the right colour because I can just mix them up. So I've got the shade Porcelain and the shade Golden. Like I said, they are kind of opposite ends of the spectrum, but I'm just going to mix them together and apply them with like a sponge. This is one of the Real Techniques. I think it's one of their contouring ones. It's basically like half a sponge, but I find it really useful because it's quite small. You can kind of get in it everywhere with it. So basically I'm just going to use the top of one of my powders as like a palette, and I'm just going to put a few drops on there. I use quite a lot because I'd rather get it all done in the first place rather than keep mixing the colours, because I might end up with kind of different colours every time I mix it, if that makes any sense. So I'd rather do a good bit at the beginning and get as much as I need. And then I like to mix that together before I use it, so I can just use like the end of a brush, just a small brush, and then mix it together. The reason I do it this way is because I find if you go in with your sponge and start mixing it with your sponge, you're going to end up with like layers of colours. That's what I find when I put it on, so I'd rather have it like mixed before I actually go in and start applying it. And I just get rid of the excess that I've got from my brush. So then I'm just going to go in with my sponge and start applying that. What I love about this foundation is the coverage, and I don't know, the way it seems to sit on the skin. I've never had a foundation like it. It really is amazing. And I'm kind of suffering with a bit of acne at the moment, which I haven't had for a really long time, and it just covers everything up so well. So now I'm happy that's all blended out. Really pretty colour. I mostly use the lighter shade, but I'd say I used kind of 2/3 of the lighter and 1/3 of the darker. Because this is so dark, it really does darken the foundation quite quickly. So next I'm going to go on to concealer. So today I'm going to use my Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer. I still have it in the box. Do not ask me why, I have absolutely no idea. It's just one of those sad things that I sometimes do when I get new products. So this is what it looks like. It's the shade Light Warm. I got it this shade kind of just for my under eye, really, not for spots or anything. Because like I said, my colour changes all the time. This is a really heavy duty concealer. It lasts kind of all night, as it suggests, and it is great for some coverage. It would be great for spot concealing, to be honest. So I'm just going to kind of apply this quite lightly. I don't like to do, I say that, lightly compared to some people I've seen, I guess. I don't like to do too much because I find it just doesn't blend out very well. But I find with this one as well, you've got to blend it relatively quickly because it does start to dry down. So as you can see, it does a really good job at kind of brightening up the under eye, and it sets really well. I mean, I still use a powder, but it does set quite well. I just use a powder because I've got some like fine lines and it does settle in there because I turned 25 last week, so I'm starting to get wrinkles, which is very, very sad. But it's alright, I've always been like that. But yeah, I do like to set it with just a little bit of powder. I find with this one, I wouldn't really want to bake it because I think it would get too cakey. So I'm just going to use a little bit of translucent powder, the one that I use to mix my foundations. This is the number 7 Perfect Light Loose Powder. And I'm just going to take a fluffy brush. Like I said, I'm not going to bake, I'm just going to pop a tiny bit of this on my under eye, just to set it, because otherwise I do end up with lines, and it's not a good look. This foundation like dries down really well as well, like it doesn't feel like it needs to be powdered really. I still like to use a powder sometimes, just, you know, if I'm going out, then I want to make sure that it's not going to budge, but it's really good at covering my spots as well. I don't feel like I need to use concealer as well as the foundation. So next we're going to go on to contour. I have this amazing kit that I love. I haven't really seen anyone talk about it, and I've really been getting back into the videos recently, but I've got the Naked Skin Shape Shifter in light medium shift. So this is basically a cream and powder contour kit. I think it was about £40. So when you open it up, you've got one side which is the powders. So you've got bronzer, contour, highlight, well, I guess matte highlight and then shimmery highlight, a mirror in the middle. And then if you flip the mirror over, you've actually got cream contours. So these two are correctors, these two are the contouring colours, and then this is a shimmer highlighter. I think it's absolutely amazing because like no matter what your preferences are, there's something for you to use in here. Typically I do tend to go for the powder highlighters, I just find them easier, but if I've got time like now and I want to do like a proper glam makeup look, then I definitely start with the creams. So because I haven't powdered down my foundation, it's perfect time to start. And I'm going to be using my kind of dirty 301 Real Techniques Precious Metals, something like that, from the collection, the Precious Metals collection, I think. It's kind of a flat, very dense brush. And I'm just going to go in the really dark contour shade here. It is extremely dark. So I'm just going to get a little bit of that on the corner and pop it into my cheekbones and then around the side of my face. A little bit goes a really long way. There we go. And then I'm going to blend that out using my beauty blender. Next I'm going to go in with the highlighting shade. I don't need to use the corrector today. If you're going to use the corrector, I would say, particularly if you had areas of imperfection, but you know, before you kind of do your under eye concealer, I'd be saying to use the corrector. So I'm just going to take this directly onto my sponge and do a little bit of highlighting. I don't need to go too crazy because obviously I've used my lightening concealer. Cool. And then I'm going to just put a tiny bit of the highlighting cream on as well, which is the one at the end. I don't think it's very strong. It's just, I find it's a really good base for powder highlight. It just really makes it cling. So then I'm going to move over to the powder side. I always start with my contour and then I like to bronze after. I don't know, I just find it blends better for me. And I'm going to use my extremely old, you know, these brushes are like 7 years old and they are just standing up to the test of time. This is the Tapered Highlighter F35 Sigma brush. And I'm just going to pop into the contour shade here. They're really pigmented and quite powdery, so do be careful with these. And then I'm just going to go into my cheekbones, around the edges of my face and my jawline. Dragging it down a little bit. Okay, I'm happy with that. I don't go too crazy with contour. I find it hard to like put too much on. I don't know, I just feel like I look a bit silly if I go too far. Next I'm just going to go in with some bronzer. I'm going to use my Real Techniques Duo Fibre face brush for this one. This is my favourite bronzing brush. I don't really know why. I just find it's quite good at not applying too much. You can put quite a lot of product on there, but because the bristles are quite sparse, it applies it quite lightly. In terms of highlighter, I've got a new kit from NYX. This is the Born to Glow highlighting palette. I'll just show it to you guys. I don't know if you've seen it before. I don't know how new it is. Can you see it there? So you've got a whole range of shadows. You've got some like really dark kind of bronzy colours here that would be good with, I don't know, if you wanted like the glowy bronzer look, which I don't today. But then you've got kind of the lighter champagne-y, more frosty, and then the more goldy, and then you've got some pinks as well. So what should I do today? I think I'm going to do a mixture. I'm going to do a mixture of these top two shades with my Real Techniques Duo Fibre contour brush. Here we go. Oh wow. That's super intense and pretty. Oh my gosh. That's so pretty. I've only used this a couple of times, don't know if you can tell. I can't take my, well I can, but I don't like to take my highlighter too close to the apples of my cheeks because I've got really enlarged pores and it just is not a good look for me. So I do tend to just focus on tops of my cheekbones basically. And I do like to put a tiny bit on the end of my nose. I've got quite oily skin, so I don't want to like put too much on because then I'm just going to look oily right from the start. That really is so beautiful. Really like that palette. I find I've tried so many highlighters, but it's actually really hard to find very good ones, even high-end ones. Some of them just aren't great, and I've got quite a range, but this is a really lovely palette. I think it's about £20, so it's not that bad for 6 colours really, and they're quite big pans as well. So moving on to blush is an old school favourite of mine. This is Melba Blush, sorry, from MAC, and I've had this for years and I'm not even near pan. It's the blush I always use kind of every day, and yeah, it just never wears away. I don't know what's going on. So I just like to use this on the apples of my cheeks. I know everyone does their kind of contour highlighter and blush in a different order, but this is just the order I find it goes best in, because otherwise I find that I end up with, I don't know, it just doesn't blend very nicely, and although I do want to look contoured, I also want it to look kind of as natural as possible. And that's basically my face done. So moving on to eyes, let's zoom you in. That's probably close enough. I'm going to start by using the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I've, again, had this particular bottle for years, because you only use like, well, I only use like that much time. I don't use it every day, so it has lasted me for years. So for this eye look, I'm going to be using my new Naked, everything's like new, I don't know if you've noticed, I've had a bit of a splurge recently. My new Naked Heat palette by Urban Decay, I absolutely love this. Everyone's kind of obsessed with the warm shades at the moment, and this just brings it. We'll start with a little transition. So I'm going to go in with Chaser and Sourced, which are these two here. Do a mixture of both, mostly Chaser, which is the lighter one. And I'm using my Real Techniques 200 brush for this one. Okay, and now we're going to go in. So let's go for He Devil, which is this kind of their most red shade, I guess. And I'm going to use the brush that comes in the set, actually. I'm going to use kind of the side that's for packing on the colour. I have used this colour before, as you can see. Just tap off the excess, and I'm going to pop this all over the lid. I'm then going to go in with Fugo, which is this darker purpley red here. I'm going to go in with this with my 203 Real Techniques brush, and I'm just going to kind of darken the outer crease. I'm then going to go in on my bottom lash line with Fugo, which is the darker red, and a Sigma pencil brush. Tap off the excess, otherwise you're going to end up with powder all down your face. I'm then going to use my Smashbox primer water, which I've had for like 2 years. This lasts forever as well, because I don't use it every day. And I'm just going to use a shader brush, spray that on my brush to dampen it down. And then I'm going to go in with Lumber, which is one of the shimmery shades. I'm going to try and pack that on my lid just into the middle to give it a bit of extra dimension. And then finally, to pop some highlight in, I'm going to use Ounce, which is the lightest shade in the palette. It has got a little bit of shimmer. Because this is such a kind of loud eye look, you don't need a really, really bright shimmer, I don't think. I'm going to pop a little bit of that under my brow. So for liner, I'm going to go in with the NYX brown liner. I don't know if it has a name other than it's brown. It's not a shimmery one, it's just a... Oh, I suppose it has a little bit of shimmer running through it, but it's just a medium brown. I'm going to line my waterline with that. I feel like I look a bit crazy and I've just realised why. It's because I haven't got my brows on. And I was looking back on old videos, like really old, because you guys know I've been away for quite a long time. And I can't believe there was a time that I didn't do anything with my eyebrows because they're so fair as well. They just kind of get lost in the face. So, So the products that I like to use are the Benefit Brow. This is amazing in shade 1 for me because I'm quite fair. The only thing is it does take quite a bit of time, so I only really do this for like going out makeup. So I just use a mascara spoolie, brush through my brows and get ready to draw them on. Gonna go with one of my Real Techniques angled brushes. It's called 202. Right, now, need to work. Oh, my brows take me ages, but I'm happy with them. They are sisters, not twins. My brows are different as well, so this is as similar as I can possibly get them. That brow product does make it the easiest, and I find it makes them look the best and the most defined, but also natural kind of looking for me. Then I'm going to top that off with the MAC Pro Longwear Waterproof Brow Set in Emphatically Blonde. I like this because it's quite light and it kind of gives some dimension back to my brows. Especially when you use a pomade, because it goes on the skin kind of, it just, everything seems to get lost within it, I find. So I don't know if you can tell, but this kind of puts a bit of lighter colour through the brows. So those are my brows done. Next, moving on to eyes, I am planning on wearing some falsies. These are the falsies I've got. I think they're from eBay or Amazon. I honestly don't know anything about them, but this is what they look like. Kind of wispy. Because I hate spending loads of money on expensive lashes, and then I don't wear them that often and I find them quite difficult to apply, so I don't use them that much. I'm just going to pop some mascara on first though. So I've got Thick and Fast by Soap and Glory. I'm not going to curl my lashes. I find when I curl them I really can't apply the falsies then, because they just, yeah, they will not go. So just apply a really thin layer of this. So for lips, I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown lip liner in Nude. I think I got this because I couldn't get the Stone lip liner or something like that. This was quite a while ago, but this is a really lovely colour. And I'm going to be topping it with the NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in Cabo. This is kind of a really cool nude that is really popular at the moment. I never used to wear this kind of lip colour, but I'm kind of loving it. So I'll start by lining my lips. I've got quite big lips, so I try not to overline because I just look crazy when I do that. Okay, so lips are lined, and then I'm just going to go over the top with the Soft Matte Lip Cream. It's quite light, but you've got to blend the liner into your lips and then it looks good. Just make sure you blend it and it will look good. So the reason I've chosen the nude lip is just because the eyes are quite dark and busy, and I didn't want to put, well, sometimes I would wear quite like a browny dark nude with it as well, and it does look really good, but I just thought I'd go for a more, well, a lighter nude today. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this makeup look. It's the first one I've done it in years. I feel a little bit weird and nervous and feel like I shouldn't really be doing this, but I've just had the urge. I really wanted to get back out there and make some more videos, so I hope you've enjoyed it. So until next time, see you later, bye.